Hey YouTube, it's Untitled here doing another action figure review, and now this is for another new, as of 2018, Batman Missions 12-inch figure, True Moves, Mr. Freeze. This was just released over here recently in Ireland. I'm not sure what the kind of issue or how it's being released over in international in the States and stuff like that, but I picked this up at my local toy store called Smith's. They had this guy and another new Batman, which is the same one from the kind of 3-pack that I've seen, which comes with a Batman, Joker, and Robin. The Robin and Joker are basically repack and repaints, whereas the Batman from that line is new. So before I get onto the box, I'll just do a quick measurement of this figure. He stands just under the 12 foot. You mightn't be able to see the dome, but the dome stops about there on his head, so he's just around the 1 foot 12 inches mark. Taking the box with me. But he does come in the same standard style packaging that the rest of the line comes in. So you have an image of the figure in the bottom right hand corner. You have the name of the character. Unfortunately, where the sticker was, it fell on the ground when I was bringing it over and got stuck onto some dog hair, so that's why the sticker thing looks a bit manky. Batman Missions, Batman logo, True Moves, DC logo. And then on the side of the box it shows images of the figure in different poses, the amount of articulation, an image of the Batman. This is the Batman that is released with the same part of this wave. He's kind of like a best way to describe him is he looks like the classic blue and grey Batman, but with harnesses on him. There's an image of that actual Batman figure there, if I can bring this close to the camera and see if it will pick up on it. And you got all the legalese. Don't think it doesn't show us any like bio or anything for Mr. Freeze. And then on the opposite side just shows another shot of the figure in another action pose, and then it just has the same logo and more legalese stuff. So unfortunately the bottom of the box is a bit floppy because I opened it at the bottom instead of the top, so it might fall over a few times during this review. But onto the figure itself. Now the figure itself is really cool. He does suffer from a few minor issues, one of which I'll say straight out of the bat is he comes with this really cool gun, which is supposed to be his freeze ray gun. Unfortunately it's molded to his right hand, so you cannot remove it. You probably could, if you're fairly skilled with an X-Acto knife, cut it out and have the hand for holding other stuff, but as the figure comes out of packaging, it doesn't actually, you can't actually remove the gun, which is interesting because I'm not sure why Mattel did it. It's probably maybe a safety feature or something, but if you look at the actual side of the box, you can see on 2 images, unless they reverse the image, but it doesn't look like it, on the 2 images you can clearly see the gun is actually in 2 different hands. And even on the opposite side image of the box, you can see he's actually holding it in the left hand instead of right hand. So I'm not sure if that's just a screw up with Mattel when they were doing the prototype photos, that they flipped images, or it's intentionally sculpted. It was intentionally sculpted into the right hand. That aside, the only other kind of minor nitpick I have is that he has no waist swivel, but none of the True Moves figures have a waist joint, so it's not something that's new, but it would be cool to have that. So for articulation, his head is on a ball joint. You can remove the dome. It is a separate piece, so his head is on the ball joint. You get some left, right. You don't really get any up and down, and you don't get any tilt with it because of the way the head is. The dome, now I'm not sure if you can see it on this. When you first get the dome, it's sellotaped onto the back of his neck, just here. It does leave a small bit of residue onto the dome, but I was able to pick it away. It is intended, it is more oval shaped than circular shaped, so it is intended. There's these divots at the kind of front, so it is kind of intended to go in one particular way. And one thing that is a little bit annoying is if you turn his head and you try to put it on, it because of the way the shape is, it pushes his head back into kind of almost looking straight again. He does get a little bit of a turn with it, but it's not the best. You can kind of turn his head while in it, but it's easier just to pop the dome off and then position the head. Unfortunately, you won't get great amount of positioning out of the head, but it does turn, which is quite good. They could have just left it one solid block like they've done in past issues of him, where you couldn't turn it at all. His arms are on kind of standard ball joints. They can go only out that much because due to the armor plating on his costume. He can do 360 with the arms. He does have a single jointed elbow, and he does have the wrist swivel. Again, he has the same on the opposite side, even the wrist swivel, even though he's holding a gun. You can get some two-handed poses out of him. You won't be able to hold the gun completely in the opposite hand, but you can get him to hold the gun in two hands. And then for the legs, he has splits that much. His back rotation isn't great due to the sculpting of his butt plate. He can't go forward that much. Single jointed knees, nothing in the ankles, and no foot pegs in the legs. So overall, he's a really cool figure. I was looking forward to him. I initially thought he was going to be part of the 6-inch figure waves. The kind of the basic Batman Missions 6-inch. I do hope he does get a 6-inch treatment as well, because he is a really cool figure. And just for comparison, here I'll bring in the current villains in the 12-inch line to date so far. I'm not sure if there's any other villains out there that I may have missed, but I think these are the 3 Batman villains that have been released so far. So you got Joker. This is the single pack Joker. There is that triple pack one I was on about, where they kind of reverse the colours a slight bit. He has a purple tux instead of the purple down here and the silver. He's kind of more traditional Joker colour, so it's like purple, I think it was purple, blue and white, purple, orange and white. And his hair is a lot more brighter. The green on his hair is a lot more brighter. And then Man-Bat. Again, the only other figure that they have in the villains lines, actually the only other figures in the villains lines from the 6-inch scale figures to the 12-inch that they haven't done is Bane and Harley Quinn. I do hope they do a Harley Quinn in the 12-inch range, or even Bane, and I hope they kind of stick to this kind of slightly bigger, bulkier body for the Bane figure. If they do go ahead with Bane and make him a little more chunky than just a regular looking Batman Missions figure, or than the 12-inch figures, because of the size of the character. Because considering the fact that the 6-inch one is actually bigger than the actual 6-inch scale Batman, he's more in scale that way. But it would be pretty cool. And then just for more size comparisons, here he is next to the Bat himself, and next to the other 12-inch figure that I have from this line, which is the Batwoman. The only one, or Batgirl, sorry, the only one that I'm missing from this line so far is the Robin figure. So hopefully I will get that at some point. But there you go, you can see them all in unison. So hopefully you enjoy this review. He is a really cool Doctor or Mr. Freeze figure, or Victor Fries as he's known. Do recommend picking him up if you can find him. He should be hitting store shelves now, I'd say. He is hitting over here in Ireland, so he probably may have been out in the States for a little bit longer, or he might be out in Canada as well. So just check your local stores that are stocking this Batman Missions line. It is a really cool line. As I said in the previous ones, their designs don't look overly cartoony. They look more kind of, they have more of a realistic look to them. Even though like they still have the bright colours and all that kind of stuff, they do kind of look less, the sculpting wise, they look less cartoony than previous iterations from the characters. So all in all, guys, it's a really good figure, so I do recommend picking it up if you can get it, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And as I say in my reviews, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. I will try and get back to every comment that I get. Cheers, guys.